Awesome. So welcome, guys. This is the annual Christmas special that I love to put on every year around Christmas. And I love doing it. I think a few years I did it on Christmas. And this year I'm doing Christmas Eve. I just love doing it because it's sort of, and it's actually changed since we've changed tracks and we have a new reality. But Christmas just used to feel so dead and so slow and so exhausting. And so I love doing these specials to get people creating and being them and creating money, because it's like Christmas is like the last day of the year that you create money and be present with money. And so I was just thrilled to put these specials on Christmas. And so this year, Christmas just isn't as heavy for me. I'm just thrilled and happy, and there are wonderful miracles showing up. And I know that there are wonderful miracles for a lot of you. So I hope that's the case. And if it's not, well, here we are to create something different. So this year, we're going to explore, as my sister calls it, you are the problem, money isn't. But it's actually called Money Isn't the Problem, You Are. And I love this book because this book has given me a different reality with money. And I really, really didn't like human reality's point of view about money. It was quite aggressive and painful. I love how Ahmed, when you smoke, you go into the beach. I don't know if we can somehow show everybody Ahmed, but it's pretty funny.
Wait, let me do it one more time.
Okay, here he's gonna do it. I love it so much. That's amazing. Amazing. Awesome. Oh my gosh, it's just so good to see your guys' faces. I'm so glad that you're here. And this goes on YouTube. So to any of you watching YouTube in the future, hello and welcome. We're so happy to have you guys here. So let's get started. I'm going to take some of my favorite tools. We'll read a little bit of the book. And then I'm going to take some of my favorite tools and we're going to discuss them. And you guys are welcome to ask me questions. I would say any question, but maybe not any question, any constructive question about money. It's like, maybe we're not going to fix your uncle's sore toe on this call. Let's just change our own money situations. So if you could keep it to money, but you can ask me any question with regards to money, and I would love to hear from you guys and love to hear about what you're looking to change and what's going on for you. And then the other thing I wanted to say is, you might want to get a pen and a piece of paper even and write down the different tools that I talk about. Or if you want to just listen, that's fine. And you can also go back later and listen to the recording and mark it down. But that's something that I really love to do. It's just sort of part of my quirkiness and how I use the tools of access consciousness is I like to take the tools and write them down and then start using them. I like keep the paper with me and then keep using the tools because stuff comes up around money that is so destructive and so the antithesis of what we are as beings. And it doesn't just change overnight necessarily. You have to use these tools as the situations arise to change your money situation, because money is just energy. Money is energy, and you are energy, and you are money. And so it's like, as you change the energy of stuckness and yuckness and what the fuck this around money, you will change your money situation, and you will be able to have money if you are willing to have money. So you can write down some of these tools, take your book, highlight your book. I mean, get really aggressive and in there and start swimming around and using all of these tools, because they will change things. And I had to use them for a long time before they really sustainably changed my money situation. I would have ups and downs and, this would show up, but I couldn't really receive it, so I would destroy it. And I would use the money tools and, this would show up, and then I would destroy it because I couldn't really receive it. So it was sort of like it took a while to get kind of sustainable. And don't make yourself wrong if you like create something and then you kind of destroy it because you're not totally willing to receive it. Because part of receiving it is the willingness to not be normal. And I was actually out getting some Christmas stuff. And also I want to acknowledge the Hanukkah, happy holidays, and also happy Ramadan, even though it's not Ramadan, and every other holiday. But I was just coming home. I was going out. I was buying gifts for my family, and on Christmas Eve, and I got back in the car, and my iPhone turned on an old clearing loop that was from a 7-day that I did about 2 years ago. And I took all the clearings from the 7-day and made my own loop, which took quite a bit of time. And it's in my voice, and it's all the clearings from the 7-day and the fight. And I was realizing today how much freedom I have from that clearing loop that I worked on and ran for months a few years ago. So you got to be patient, and humanoid reality does not necessarily include patience very well, but it's like, get to work, pull up your sleeves and use these tools. And I'm sorry, I'm a very motivational person, but I don't want to be motivational. I want to show you what you can have as a different reality, not motivate you, because motivation goes away by tomorrow. It's like, what are you going to have to choose to sustainably change your financial reality? What are you going to have to choose and change and do different to change this and make it healthy and flourishing and filled with possibilities? And it's like, you might use these tools for a really long time before it gets there, but you got to keep using them. And I guarantee you it'll be quicker than it was for a lot of people, because consciousness is way easier. And also, Stain the Wizard, I really like your sweater. It's just a nice man sweater. I love it. Awesome. All right. So here we go. Oh, and there's Anthony Mattis. Anthony, you're looking awfully feminine today. That's my husband. My husband is Anthony Mattis, but as you can see, there is a lady using his Zoom right now, his assistant. It's very funny. Okay, so let's get started. So I want us to start here. We're going to start with tool number 1. We're going to go through tools. I'm going to kick your butt for a little while. All right, page 17. We're going to start with this tool. I don't want money. Okay, here we go. We're doing the basics, folks. We're doing the things that changed it for me. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start reading on page 15. Poverty consciousness is not a state of mind that only poor people have. Rich people can have poverty consciousness as well. I went to a billionaire's party recently, and it seemed like everyone was trying to be the best at degrading their gardeners and their help. This is what they thought being rich meant: degrading the people who help you. Not nice. They said, oh, it's so hard to get good help. No, it isn't. It's easy to get good help if you treat people well. Even though they have lots of money, there's an unwillingness to receive the greatness of anyone. And how much do you guys reject the greatness of yourself? Not nice. Not nice. So everything that is, and all the energy that you use to reject, spurn, and stomp out the greatness of your being, will you destroy and uncreate at all times a godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, all 9, pot and pock, shorts, boys, and beyonds. They think they have to control their employees and pay them as little as possible. Poverty consciousness is not the amount of money you have. It's about the way you treat yourself and others, and the abundance you're willing to see in the world. The word want, now we're getting to the word want, is a key component of poverty consciousness. Do you know what the word want means? It means to lack. Every time you say, I want, you're saying, I lack. If you say, I want more money, you'll start to lack more and more all the time. If you start to pay attention to what you think or what you say, you'll see exactly how you're creating the abundance or the lack of it that's showing up in your life. Look up the word want in the dictionary. You might have to find it in an older dictionary. Dictionaries that were made prior to 1946 have correct definitions of the words of the English language. After 1946, after World War II, Hitler, they started to change the definitions to reflect the colloquial usage. If you look at the word want in a dictionary published prior to 1946, you'll see there are several definitions of want, meaning to lack, and only one that means to desire. To desire is to look for something to be available in the future. So even with that definition, you're still screwed. He said in trouble, but I said screwed. Driving it in, you know. Listen to people who are truly abundant. The word want isn't in their vocabulary. They don't know the word. They don't have the idea that want is part of life. Everything is about having it, getting it, going for it, and allowing it. Okay, so how much do you allow and how much do you want? Think about it. What do you allow? It's called allowance. You have to allow things to be what they are. But if you really figure out what things truly are and you allow it, everything's going to be easy and great for you because that's how things truly are. Human reality is the only place where things are not easy and great. Every other part of reality is easy and great. It's beautiful and wonderful. And there is a wonderful, wonderful space that is seeking you. Okay, what you are seeking is seeking you. You just don't want to know that. Okay? All right. There's an old proverb that says, waste not, want not, which means if you waste not, you lack not. That's where it comes from. If you recognize that the word want means to lack and you listen to yourself, you'll see that you're using the word want all the time. Ask yourself, what would it take for the word want to fall out of my vocabulary? Instead of creating from I want money, allow yourself to create from I don't want money. Because every time you say I want more money, you're saying I lack of it. And that's exactly what shows up in your life. Okay, so now we're going to do the exercise in the book. See, we're going to say, I don't want money, I don't want money, I don't want money. Okay, so here we go. And we're going to say it way more than in the book. We're going to do it on overdrive, okay? Oh, so much more fun to be doing this than, sleeping at Christmas after you've eaten too much. We're creating our lives, people. Okay, so here we go. I don't want money. Say it with me out loud. I don't want money. 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 I do not. I don't want money. 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 Come on, Stain the Wizard. I don't want money. I don't want money. I don't want money. I don't want money. Woohoo! Okay, amazing. See, if you wake up in the morning and you do that and you do the I don't want money dance, you're going to have a lot more money showing up. Okay? That's a new tool I just made up. The I don't want money dance. Okay? And you just saw it performed by its original key choreographer. Whoa. All right, here we go. So, what happened? Did saying I don't want money make you feel lighter or heavier? I really hope nobody says heavier because that would really suck. Somebody will come out of the ethers and be like, I don't like this. I feel heavy. No, everybody feels lighter. So lighter refers to a sense of expansion and possibility and a greater sense of space. You might have even smiled or laughed out loud, which every one of you did that I can see. And I'm sure every one of you watching this replay is smiling and laughing too. All right. Heavier refers to a feeling of contraction. So think of it, you contract. See, and how contracted does your money world feel when you're not being you? You know? And when you have your money world, you're expanded, which is you. And even if you look at science or whatever, I mean, if that's where you want to look, let's look at science. It's like in science, the universe is constantly expanding. That's the natural flow of things, is constant expansion. We have to do a lot of work as humans to stop that constant expansion. So what if your money reality, well, I'm not going to say that because that's just too filled with possibilities and then you have to reject me. So forget about it. None for you. Okay, so if you're like most people, saying I don't want money made you feel lighter. Why is that? It's because the truth always makes you feel lighter, and a lie makes you feel heavier. The truth of you is you don't lack of money, and saying so shows you're willing to bring it on. You can create receiving in your life by saying that 10 times every morning or doing the dance. When people around you say, I want money, you can smile and knowingly say, I don't. Okay, so that's the first tool that we're going to cover today. Okay, that's the I don't want money tool. All right, seems way too easy, and it is way too easy. All right, the next one that I want to do is, where is it? Here it is. Okay. The next one is page 42. I don't know. I have this version. I don't know what versions there are, but it's 42 in this version. And the chapter is called Perceive, Know, Be, and Receive. Okay. And this is our next tool. Do you want to know what's going to make your job better or how to improve your money situation or your business or your relationship? In any area of your life that is not working for you, okay, money is often one of those. There's something that you're not perceiving, you're not knowing, you're not being, and you're not receiving. How can we say this? It's because we know that you are an infinite being. Okay? As an infinite being, you have the infinite capacity to perceive, know, be, and receive. This means that in order to create your life as the limitation it has become, there have to be things that you are unwilling to perceive, know, be, and receive. Okay? So how many of you guys perceive, know, be, and receive far less than what you're capable of perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving? And what else could you perceive, know, be, and receive that if you would perceive, know, be, and receive it, would allow you to have way more space and way more ease? And that magical reality that you dreamed about as a child that you forgot about one day that now you have come to find again. Okay. So, so say the following. So here's our next tool. Say the following 30 times a day for 3 days. And here's the statement. Perceive, know, be, and receive what I refuse, dare not, must never, and must also perceive, know, be, and receive that will allow me total clarity and ease with money. Okay? And that's not necessarily even a clearing statement. It's just a statement that you say. And you can do it as a clearing statement and clear the energy too. Whatever works for you. All right, so I'm going to say it some more times. I realize that some of you have the book and some of you don't have the book. If anyone wants to take this and write it and put it in the chat, that would be great. If not, just listen to me say it and it will help work on you. And you can go back and write it down later or just get a copy of this book. This is a book you're going to want to read a couple of times. It's short, it's an easy read, but it is filled with all of the greatest tools about money and access consciousness. Okay? All right. So I'm going to say it a few times. Perceive, know, be, and receive what I refuse, dare not, must never, and must also perceive, know, be, and receive that will allow me total clarity and ease with money. Perceive, know, be, and receive what I refuse, dare not, must never, and must also perceive, know, be, and receive that will allow me total clarity and ease with money. Perceive, know, be, and receive what I refuse, dare not, must never, and must also perceive, know, be, and receive that will allow me total clarity and ease with money. The wonderful Daniel has put it in the chat for you guys, in the Zoom chat. Yay, thanks, Daniel. Perceive, know, be, and receive what you, oh boy. Perceive, know, be, and receive what I refuse, dare not, must never, and must also perceive, know, be, and receive that will allow me total clarity and ease with money. And you can put anything on the end of it. You could put in with relationship. You could put in with my kid. You could put in with my house, with my business, with my body, with the earth. Okay? Anything. If you're constipated, you could even put pooping in there. I mean, really, it's a great statement to use. Okay? Perceive, know, be, and receive what I refuse, dare not, must never, and must also perceive, know, be, and receive that will allow me total clarity and ease with money. Perceive, know, be, and receive what I refuse, dare not, must never, and must also perceive, know, be, and receive that will allow me total clarity and ease with money. Perceive, know, be, and receive what I refuse, dare not, must never, and must also perceive, know, be, and receive that will allow me total clarity and ease with money. Perceive, know, be, and receive what I refuse, dare not, must never, and must also perceive, know, be, and receive that will allow me total clarity and ease with money. Perceive, know, be, and receive. And do you perceive it lightening up? As we keep going, it gets lighter and lighter. Yeah. Perceive, know, be, and receive what I refuse, dare not, must never, and must also perceive, know, be, and receive that will allow me total clarity and ease with money. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Or you can use a simplified version. What must I perceive, know, be, and receive that would allow me to have total ease with money? You can put anything in the blank, Gary writes, and Dane. This question starts to unlock where you're not showing up. If you will do this 30 times a day for 3 days, somewhere at the end of the 3rd day or into the 4th day, you'll start to have an inspired way of looking at things. You'll start to have an inspired way of looking at things that you didn't think of before, okay? Because consciousness and possibilities are about finding out inspired things that you never thought of before. They're not about fixing problems in a way you could think of. Okay? If you wanted to fix your problems in a way you could think of, you would have fixed your problems already because you're thinking all the time. Consciousness and possibilities are about things showing up and you considering things that you've never considered before, totally from a different space. Okay? So you've got to let the magic contribute to you rather than doing it all alone. Okay? Because there's a lot of magic that wants to contribute to you. Okay? All of a sudden you'll ask, why didn't I think of that before? Well, you couldn't think of it before because you refused, or you dared not, or you thought you must never perceive or receive something, or you thought you had to perceive or receive something in order to get there. Pretty cool. Curious. This simple question will help you unlock your limitations. Here we go. Perceive, know, be, and receive. What I refuse, dare not, must never, and must also perceive, know, be, and receive. That will allow me total clarity and ease with wealth. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Daniel went. And I say, yes, Daniel. Very fascinating indeed. All right. And Maya's saying that she's on page 28, and I'm on page 42. So clearly, we have very different versions of the book. So 30 times a day will begin to change whatever area of your life is not working the way you would like it to work. Okay? So that's tool number 2. And it can be tool number 2 if you're constipated also. So got a lot of application here, folks. All right. Now, the next one is okay. How do I tell you the page number? Okay, well, it's 61, so maybe that, would equate to 35. I don't know. I'm totally making shit up. So, but it's the section called What Would, I can't read backwards. What would a job that made continuous increasing amounts of money look like? Okay, it's that section, and it's under this chapter. Get a vision of what you would like your life to be like. Okay, of what you would like your job to be like. Okay, I love the section on your job in this book. It's amazing. Okay, so we're going to dive into the middle of it. Okay, so what would a job that made continuous increasing amounts of money look like? What would a job that made continuous increasing amounts of money look like, or feel like, or taste like? Okay, page 41 says some of the wonderful ladies. Thank you, guys. What if money wasn't about survival and you didn't even care if you got money for it? Okay. I'm sorry. What if a job wasn't about survival and you didn't even care if you got money for your job? What if money wasn't the compelling issue in the process? What if your job was about what you could create in the world? Okay. What if the compelling thing was the ability to achieve what you truly desire in your life? The way you connect to people, the way you help them achieve their desires and goals. What would you truly like to achieve in your life? That's what you envision. What would it be like to do that? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Don't ask, how do I create this? The how creates the need to figure it out. And the need to figure it out creates a limitation. Instead, ask the universe to help you. Okay? So say, okay, I'd like a job that has this in it, and this, and this, and this. Okay? I used to work at a golf course, but it was kind of not really where I wanted to work. And so I was like, okay, I'd like to have a different kind of a job. And I thought, okay, these are all the things that I didn't like with the original job. So I asked about other things in the next job. So for the next job, I asked tons of money. I'd like to make tons and tons of money. And I wanted to be out in nature. But I wanted to be sitting down, not standing all the time. And I wanted to be really, really social with people and always getting to talk to people and engage with people and be with people. So a few months later, I was cleaning my aunt's house, and my aunt said, why don't I take you to this high-end golf course and introduce you to the owners? They're our friends. And I thought, well, that's a great idea. So she took us to this beautiful golf course and introduced us to the owners, and they hired me right there. And for the job of being out on the beautiful golf course in nature, visiting with everybody on the golf course, serving them their drinks. And I was sitting down, I was in nature, I made a ton of money, and I got to visit with everybody. And it's like the universe brought me the job that I had asked for in the time frame that it could bring it to me. Okay? So you've got to ask for the things that you desire and not be vested in the outcome. I wasn't vested in the outcome. I would have been fine doing the other job. But I asked, what would it take to improve this and make it better? So the universe was able to do that. Okay? So those are the kind of things you want to look for. Okay? And at the time, I wasn't asking to change the world. I mean, this was before Access. But I was asking for those things because that was what was valuable to me at the time. And now I ask for, I'd actually like to create change for people, big change. And so that might be something that you want to create for people. And it probably is. And so you can ask for that. And you can ask for comfort, or you can ask for joy, or you can ask for a job where you don't have to talk to anybody, because you definitely don't want to talk to anybody, because not everybody's like me. Not everybody is social like me. I'm a very rare breed. And it's a lot of humanoids like their space and don't like to have to talk to people. So it's like you want to look at what would be really wonderful for you and ask for that in a job. Okay? And then ask the universe for help. Okay? So say I'd like this and this and this in my job. And then start pulling energy. You're doing an energy pull. Start pulling energy into this concept from all over the universe until it feels like it's getting bigger. Okay? So I'm going to ask you guys, get 3 elements of a job you'd really like to have. Would you like to contribute to people? Would you like to make tons of money? Would you like to see changes in the world that make the world more fun? Would you like to have fun at your job? Would you like to have laughter at your job? Would you like to have that sense of magic and possibilities and consciousness at your job? Would you like to have a job that made enough money that you could buy Christmas presents for everybody in your life, nice ones too, and not even have to worry about it at all? What kind of a job would you like to have that would just be fun for you and make the world greater? Okay, so you can ask for any of that stuff. All right. So now get those energies and now pull energy into it from all over the universe until it feels like it's getting bigger. Okay. And then let little trickles go out to all those people that are looking for you and don't even know it. Every time something that feels like that vision or the energies of that job, every time it shows up in your life, go for it. All things are possible. You are an unlimited being. You have unlimited possibilities. Choose what you would like to have in your life. Okay? How can I use my talents and abilities to create money? Many years ago, I had an upholstery business and I discovered I had what turned out to be a unique talent. This is Gary talking. I could look at a client's carpet or drapes or whatever, and I would know exactly what colors were going to be needed to go with them. And I could keep a clear picture of them in my mind. Oh my God, I could never do that. That is a very special talent. 6 months later, I'd run into some fabric that was exactly the same color as my client's carpet. And I'd call them and tell them, I just found the fabric they needed. And they'd say, great, can you pick it up for us? How many yards do we need for our chair? I'd tell them, and I'd pick it up, and I'd pick up the fabric. Would I charge them for it? No, I wouldn't. Well, why was that? I didn't recognize this ability as anything special. I figured anybody else could do what I could do, so it couldn't be worth any money. That's the way it often is with our abilities and talents. They come to us so easily, we don't think we have anything of value. We don't see the value they have to others. Okay, so this is our fourth tool. Third one was the energy pull. The fourth one is asking what talents and abilities you have that could make you money that nobody else has. What talents and abilities do I have that could make me massive amounts of money? Put massive in there. Massive amounts of money that nobody else has. And there's also a version written in the book too. What's the one thing that you do so freaking easily that it takes no effort? What is so easy for you that you think anybody could do it? Of course, the reality is nobody else can. You have to start asking yourself this question. Okay, so what's the talent? Thanks, Daniel. Daniel's our scribe. He's wonderful. What's the talent and ability, the thing that I can do so easily that I think it has no value? Oh, that's bringing up more energy than almost anything we've talked about. And Abir says, I got panic thinking about that question. You're not the only one, Abir. So everything that is times a godzillion, will you guys destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, meons. And TR is asking, what if I don't have clarity about it? That's a great question. So if you don't have clarity about your talents and abilities, you need to keep asking the question, and the universe will show you. Okay? There's a great universe out there that will contribute to you if you ask.
Why is yours finished or what?
Angie, do you have a question? I think Angie didn't realize she was on mute. Does anybody have a question about that? Everybody good?
What are your unique talents and abilities and special things?
I can't tell you that, Daniel, because if I told you, then you would use my unique talents and abilities as a reference point for your unique talents and abilities, which would defeat the whole purpose of asking the question and asking the universe.
Okay, I got it.
I would do you a great disservice if I told you. So you'll just have to go out and find your own. Yeah. Okay, so ask the universe. The universe will contribute to you. Awesome. Okay, we're going to do... Hold on. All right, I want to go to gifting and receiving. Gifting and receiving. That's page 87 for me, so hopefully you guys can put in what page it is for others. Okay. Learning to receive is the greatest thing you can do. Madeline says it's page 63. We've worked with lots of people regarding their money issues. We've worked with people who had $10 in their pocket, and we've worked with people who had $10 million. The interesting thing is they all have the same issue, and it has nothing to do with money at all. It has to do with what they are willing to receive. Learning to receive is the greatest thing you can do. The limitation of money, the limitation of sex, the limitation of relationship, the limitation of anything at all in your life is based on what you are unwilling to receive. What you are unwilling to receive creates the limitation of what you can have. Oh boy. Excuse me. So everything that you are fighting against receiving that is creating the box of your life, will you destroy and uncreate at all times a godzillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, puck and pod, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay? Judgment limits your capacity to receive. Wherever you go into judgment about anything, whether it's a positive judgment, I really like that person, or a negative judgment, I hate them, or any degree of judgment, you cut off your capacity to receive beyond that judgment. Every judgment you make stops you from receiving anything that doesn't match it. So even a positive judgment, like, excuse me, this person is perfect, keeps you from seeing when they're not perfect. If you decide you've married the perfect woman, are you able to see when she's not perfect? Can you see when she's cheating on you? No. You are not able to receive the full reality of that person. Whatever we are unable to receive is based on our judgments. Do you need to live in judgment? No. In fact, you need to live without judgment. If you live from a place of no judgment, you can receive the entirety of the world. That's kind of a big statement. Could you imagine receiving the entirety of the world?
What would I do with it?
That's exactly why you don't receive it, because you don't know what you do with it. And do you trust yourself enough to be able to be the magician, the wizard that controls the whole world? Do you trust yourself, or do you doubt yourself?
I doubt myself.
Thank you, Daniel, for your enthusiastic and engaged response. You're wonderful. Yeah, so it's like we don't know who we really are deep down. We don't really know if we're good people. In fact, 99% of people believe they're terrible and awful and evil. And so if you're not exactly sure what kind of creature you are, and you're always trying to be nice and you're always trying to prove you're nice, but that's only because you're not totally sure if you're nice, and you might be horrible and awful deep down somewhere. Are you really going to allow yourself to receive the entirety of the world? Or will you keep the whole world out because you don't trust the world with yourself? And everything that is times a godzillion. Will you destroy and create it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So if you want to receive more of the world, and you want to receive more money, and you want to receive more magic, start to know yourself. And even if you don't like what you see, keep going, because that's where the secrets and the magic lie. Okay? It's bone chilling. It was bone chilling for me to realize where I was secretly mean to people that I didn't even know. I was like, it was a process. And it's like, are you willing to go on the process of realizing what you are? And not all of you have evil in you, but you all think you might. So you're all defending against evil you may not even have. And what if evil wasn't a judgeable offense? It's like, do you really want to know yourself? Because there's a whole different world if you do. And everything that brought up times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyond. If you put, do you trust the world with yourself? That is, yeah. And do you? Do you trust the world with yourself, or are you afraid you're going to harm everyone and everything? So you could do tool number 2, perceive, know, be, and receive what I dare not, must never, but must always perceive, know, be, and receive about the evil of me, or about the kindness of me, or about the difference of me, or about the greatness of me. Okay? It's a different world, but that's where true power comes from knowing yourself. Okay, so we're talking about judgment. Yeah, if you live from a place of no judgment, you can receive the entirety of the world. So you have to not judge you is really the biggest part of this. If you don't judge you, you will allow yourself to receive the entirety of the world because you're not afraid you'll harm everything. You know what you got going on. You can have everything you've always wanted. When you have no judgment, there isn't anything you can't receive. Oh, could you imagine? It's just so exciting. I mean, really. But there are some things you have to do that you might not want to do, or some things you might have to look at that you might not want to look at. But know that when you feel like you are a humiliated pile of dust on the floor, you're getting somewhere. All right. I worked with a man who had a men's clothing store. And actually, not everybody's going to have to go through that. Not everybody's me. But it's like, there will be things about yourself that you might not want to know, even if it is just the magic and the greatness of you. But if you're willing to know the whole spectrum, you have a different world. Okay? Fawn says, Julia, this is fantastic. Awesome. And there will be a recording. Everybody signed up. We'll get this as an email. And it's going to go on YouTube for everybody. So it will live on YouTube forever. And somebody's commenting that Daniel looks a little shocked. I love it. And it's in Arabic, too. The person's name is in Arabic. And I can't even pronounce their name. I wish I could.
Yeah, that was me. My name is Mina.
Mina.
He looks really shocked. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. We've got this sort of cross action going on, you know?
Yeah.
I love it. It's amazing. Awesome. So, so here we go. I worked with a man who had a men's clothing store. in the gay section of town. He was having trouble with his business and he asked me to help him sort out what the problem was. He wasn't making any money. What's that about? Well, we're going to find out. We examined everything and it all looked pretty good. And I was thinking, what's keeping him from being successful? You know, what's keeping him? Well, he said, oh, wait. I said, so tell me about your customers. He said, oh, they're pretty nice, except for those guys. I said, who are those guys? Who are those guys? And he said, oh, the swishy queens that come in. I hate it when they come in and hit on me. I said, your shop is in the gay part of town, isn't it? And he said, yes. And I said, you know what? Probably it wasn't this theatric in real life. I'm just putting on the theatrics for you guys. I said, you know what? You have made a mistake here because you will not receive your customers' energy. They're not going to give you any money if you're not willing to have their energy. He said, what do you mean? I said, you have to be willing to receive their energy if you would have their money. You have to learn to banter and flirt with them. He said, oh, I could never do that. I don't want to have sex with a man. I said, I didn't say you had to have sex with a man. I said you had to flirt with them. You'll flirt with a woman, won't you? He said, when my wife's not around. I said, then just flirt with a man. It doesn't mean you have to have sex with him. It just means you're willing to receive the energy he's giving you, and then you can have his money. So he learned to enjoy his customers and to banter and flirt with them. This is like a good Christmas story. He learned to flirt with his customers and have a good time with them, and he started making lots of money. He had a judgment about receiving the energy of his customers, which created a limitation on what he could receive financially. The same is true for you. What are you willing to receive? What are you unwilling to receive energetically? I'm not saying this right. What you are unwilling to receive energetically becomes the limitation of what you can create money from. Okay? So what energies are you not willing to receive? When somebody thinks you're really sexy, but they're not who you want to think. Oop, somebody's phoning me. Oh my goodness. If somebody thinks you're sexy, but they're not somebody you want to think you're sexy, do you receive the fact that they think you're sexy and wonderful? Or do you go, stop it? Okay. So this doesn't mean that if somebody is like creepy in a dark alley and they go, oh, you're really sexy, that you're like, oh, well, thank you. No, you run away. But you could still receive the fact that they think you're sexy while you're running away from them. Okay? So it's like you want to receive any energy that comes at you. The good, the bad, the ugly. If somebody doesn't like you, receive it. I know plenty of people who don't like me. There are a lot of people who don't like me. And it's like, I'll still go to lunch with them. I'll still hang out with them. It's not a problem. Not everybody has to like you. Daniel says, he's writing down the quotes here. He says, he wrote down this quote, you can still receive the fact that they think you're sexy while you're running away from them. Okay, so I'm not saying allow someone to cause you bodily harm. I'm saying let anybody think you're sexy and receive the energy of lust, because lust is a part of the magic of a different reality. If you're not receiving lust, you're not receiving money. Okay? And whether you like to know it or not, you're a lustable creature. Trust me, I've seen not lustable creatures. They're all over the place. And not one of you is unlustable. Every one of you is a lustable person. Okay? So, and you know what's the most lustable thing about you? Your sense of possibilities and your sense of magic. And also the cute body that you created when you came into this lifetime. Okay? So receive the lust, receive the possibilities, receive the greatness, and you'll have a different reality. All right? Amazing. Awesome. Hey, Daniel, if you have all your wonderful quotes that you put in the Zoom, can you copy them out of there and post them and send them to me, actually? Because they're wonderful. And they would be a really nice compliment to this Zoom. Thank you.
I can do that.
Awesome. You're the best. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being here for our, I don't know how many tools that ended up being, 6 or 7 money tools. And it's like, what different world are you capable of? What different world is available? And, you know, roll up your sleeves, use the tools, and find the different reality that only you're capable of. Your family's not capable of it. Your friends are not capable of it. Nobody's capable of it. Maybe not even your kids. You're the only one who's capable of the different reality. And are you willing to have it? Are you willing to be it? And are you willing to be the inspiration that allows others to have a different reality and a greater future? All right. So Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy belated and early Ramadan. Happy Diwali. Happy everything. I love you guys so much. And we'll see you next time on something very soon. What else do we have on? On December 30th, we have the 30 Days of Healing Your Bank Account class, which I'm really excited about. And we priced it very inexpensively. So you're welcome to the 30 Days of Healing Your Bank Account. That's an exercise class about getting present with your bank account and flowing gratitude to it, doing energy pulls with it, taking your debt, doing that, everything, changing it. It was so powerful and effective for me. I was like, I think I really need to show people how to do this stuff. And then what else is there? All kinds of stuff. Foundation. I have a New Year's foundation coming up. Christmas money workbook. That was right now. Talk to the entities. What else do we have, Evie? I think we got it all. There's
Silver
lots
and
of
gold,
wonderful things.
but silver and gold, but that's like
Silver and Gold Club. You guys are still welcome to join that. That will close soon. That's 1 year of learning how to invest and learn about every type of money. Stock, bonds, venture capitalism, real estate, antiques, jewelry, all of the above. There's all kinds of stuff. And my store is on sale until tomorrow. I think it's 20% off. Anyways, this wasn't made to be a commercial, but there is lots of stuff going on and we want you guys to be a part of it. And there's just so much that's possible. So Merry Christmas. Listen to this over and over if you like, because you'll get lots of gems from it. And Happy New Year. Mwah. Bye, guys.
happy.
Happy.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you
Merry
so
Christmas.
much.
You're so welcome. Bye.
Bye bye.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.